Today is April 19th, 2022. The Lawrence Board of Zoning Appeals is called to order at this time. I need a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes from March 15, 2022.
So moved or accepted?
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. Minutes stand as written. If you have not done so, please sign in at the back of the room, and anyone wishing to speak tonight, please stand and raise your right hand. Okay. Just one person? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Answer with I do. Thank you. Do we have any special requests tonight, continuance, withdrawals, or waivers?
We do have a request for continuance with notice to the May 7th. Oh, Becky, we have to turn the speakers on.
What they are
To the
on.
white lines. Both of them. There we
Okay.
go.
Okay.
We do have a special request for continuance with notice to the May 17th hearing for petition 22 LUV 06 12147 East 65th Street. And we went ahead and we don't need a motion or anything on that. It's continued at request of the petitioner.
Okay, so we don't need a motion or a second or, okay,
It's just continued.
okay.
Yeah, that's our first
It is.
continuance room.
And for anybody that's online watching, the petitioner has scheduled a meeting here at the Lawrence Government Center on the 16th of May at 6:45 to discuss anybody who has any concerns with the project, ask any questions, those kind of things before the hearing on the 17th. And anyone's welcome to come to that meeting.
Thank you, Renee. Now for new business, 22 LSV-05 9940 East 56th Street, a variance of development standard of the Lawrence Village at the Fort Preliminary Plan Covenants and Development Standards of Section 2.3.1 and 3.3.7 regarding the public face along the required building line in Section 2.11.6 regarding the drive-through lane on Lee Road. Petitioner.
Hi, good evening. My name is Stephanie Truchon. I'm an attorney with Katz Corn Cunningham, here on behalf of the petitioner, which is Fort Harrison Partners LLC, developing the site at 56th and Lee Road. So I think, as you'll see in the staff report, we're requesting a variance of development standards from the Fort Harrison PUD ordinance. The current ordinance requires that 80% of the buildings face the public face the required building line. With this being a corner lot and site constraints, we are unable to accommodate that in order to complete the development. So we're requesting that we have a variance from that development standard. Also, 3.3.7 require with the required setbacks, which we do meet, but again with the public face. The public face of this building will be on Lee Road rather than 56th Street. 2.11.6 only allows drive-through lanes to be located along 56th Street. Again, site development constraints and negotiations with Fort Harrison Reuse Authority recommended that we have the drive-through lanes enter off of Lee Road rather than 56th. So happy to answer any questions if you have petition.
So all the in and out, it's all going to be on Lee Road, correct?
That's correct, yes. There's no curb cut, I believe, from 56th Street. Everything is from Lee Road.
Excuse me, I have a couple of questions. And this may be more directed toward FHRA, but what is the, when it comes to drive-through businesses on the campus of the fort, the historic fort, so north of 56th Street, what's the PUD ordinance call for as it relates to drive-through businesses?
I think I'll defer to Heather on that one. Yeah, if you can speak to that.
Heather, you have to be sworn in. Sorry. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Heather Milliken with the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. As far as the PUD is related, drive-throughs are permitted on 56th Street, so they are allowed.
And that obviously pertains to the north of 56 here in the historic district of the Fort.
Yes, on 56th Street.
So the reason that the reason or the context is relating to my question is because I've heard many times a turn of phrase used over the years in my various opportunities to serve the community in different capacities is we want the historic fort to be a destination, somewhere that people drive to and not drive through. And this is really, as I understand the PUD and the original development of standards, it's really intended to be a dense, walkable, pedestrian-friendly, bicycling sort of
Right.
urban development sort of project, right? And typically, and there's Starbucks and those types of properties everywhere across the country. Typically, they don't have a drive-through. So this is the reason for my question, because I think it's important that we at least be mindful, if not protective, of the intent of that walkable, bikeable, not drive-through, drive-to sort of philosophy when it comes to the fort.
Respect that. As far as, I've seen a lot of the Starbucks throughout the country, I've personally experienced, they've had drive-throughs. And I know that this is just one of those things that the Starbucks was wanting, and it's going to run along Lee Road. So I don't know if Kim Reeves would want to speak to this any more than what I've said, but I mean, I understand where you're coming from, that we feel the same way, and that is the plan, is to keep it, an urban, create as an urban walkable mixed-use community. We thought that Starbucks would be a good addition to that.
No doubt, yeah, no doubt. Strong brand, for sure.
Sure.
So how many times will the sidewalk be interfered with?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
So, for example, how many times will how many times will vehicles be crossing sidewalk in your plan?
Is there a traffic flow?
there a better way to
that
ask
we
that?
could see some illustration of that?
This was all, sorry, I
So I'm looking at the pictures, and I can't tell.
don't know if the engineering drawings were included. This was all worked out by the engineers. The reason the site is designed the way it is due to traffic studies and site constraints. This was all worked out in advance of filing the petition, well in advance of that.
Yeah.
I think the plans were drawn in, maybe back in the fall, is that? Yeah, so the engineers have been working on this for quite a while to ensure that there's only one curb cut. As far as traffic counts, I don't think we have that information. We can't say how many people are going to utilize the Starbucks drive-through. But curb cuts, there's only one on Lee Road.
Because I guess my question was, because I can't think of it, and I can't tell from the pictures. Is there a sidewalk on Lee Road?
I
That
believe
area?
that's intended as part of the development, if
there-
there's not
okay.
currently a sidewalk.
Is there currently sidewalk? Okay,
Well, there's a trail going down Lee Road.
that's what
And
it
you
is.
do have a site plan in the staff report on page 5 that shows
Because I can't tell what.
cut off of Lee Road, the drive-through for that certain development. They are putting in a new road in
Right.
between
I was thinking
Otis.
going on.
So there is a new road going in there that will come off of Lee Road, right at the end of the existing median. Will be there cut into that new street.
Which one's Lee Road?
So the drive-through feeds in from the north,
Which one is Lee Road?
correct?
They'll be able to get it if they're going north or south.
I'm sorry?
They'll be able to get to the drive-through going north or south on Lee Road.
But if you had it on 56th Street, they would only be able to access it one way.
Right, they'd have to turn left off of 56 onto the new road, which hasn't been named yet.
So, yeah, so that's, if I could ask another traffic flow-related question. So if the drive-through being located along Lee Road, when there is westbound traffic on 56th, you come up and over the bridge right? Then you'll turn right on Lee Road. Then you'll need to turn left to try to gain access to that drive-through that funnels then down toward the south, toward 56th Street,
That's correct.
correct? Okay. And so my question / concern is, I wonder what the traffic, and I'm sure engineering has worked on this, I'm not challenging that, but I wonder what that looks like in reality on a busy morning. We've all have probably seen drive-throughs at Starbucks and similar businesses where traffic begins to back up. And I don't know what that traffic flow, the potential problems, what that really looks like, and what the thought processes are to manage that. For southbound people coming south on Lee Road, entering to, or driving toward 56th Street. So I'm envisioning people trying to turn left to get to the drive-through and southbound, and it's, I mean, and there's not much, that's a short amount of distance there. That's probably a half a block or something. So there's not a lot of room there to accommodate a lot of cars potentially trying to hit the drive-through at Starbucks in this walkable, dense, pedestrian-friendly community.
That would be a question for the engineers, and unfortunately, I don't think they're here tonight.
Okay.
But would they be able to come up with that? Because right now, you don't know, because there's not that much traffic technically.
Oh, I would disagree.
Really?
We have the YMCA,
Okay, well, that's true.
the YMCA right there, and then you have all the new apartment buildings, the new libraries going in there. Forest Glen Elementary School's right there. You have the doctor's buildings, you have Spanish Advantage Club, you have, I mean, there's actually quite a bit of activity that happens.
I see where you're, okay, I was thinking just local.
And a lot-
I
and a
see
lot
what you're
with
saying, what you're
kids.
pleading into.
And a lot with kids. I mean, particularly in the summer when they have the outdoor pool at the YMCA. I think it's a valid point that we don't see pedestrians all the time. There's actually quite a bit of children that use that walkway. The Fall Creek baseball too, right over there.
You know,
I can say I was there between 6:30 and 7 this morning, which I would think would be a very busy time. There was next to no traffic. Went up and down, nothing. Nobody backed up at the, my concern is trusted is people coming up to a Starbucks and doing everything that everybody does while driving now, including knows what, watching video games, playing video games on their dashboard displays, and looking up and, oh, there's a Starbucks. Oh, no signal and getting rear-ended because we had a daughter get rear-ended, and an unpleasant thing. But I was amazed at how little traffic there was. And at that corner, I think it would be pretty unusual for people to be walking from the YMCA down there. Maybe after the Starbucks is there, be more foot traffic. Certainly, that's the idea, right? Is to bring people in, sell 1,000 cups of coffee or whatever.
and also to
Walk
support
to the
future
library.
uses in the area, office use, and I think there's a library proposed to go in. So, you know, we feel that this fits really well with future development in the area. Obviously, the petitioner, you know, when it comes down to plan review with engineering, I'm sure we'd be happy to address wayfinding, signage, you know, various safety issues. Lighting, obviously, is a big one, especially during the winter months when it's dark in the morning and in the evening. But right now, you know, we're just requesting the variance to allow for the development as it's preliminarily drafted.
Have the engineers explored putting the drive-through on 56th Street?
I believe they have and didn't find that to be feasible.
Right. Did they explain why?
I'm not with the engineers. I'm
I know.
a lawyer, unfortunately, so I can't speak to that, but that was what was communicated. And I
Yeah,
can
Trace.
ask them, but,
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I was president of the Economic Development Commission when we didn't want to be drive-through, but two. And I think the Starbucks achieves
The author of that.
And I'm not sure that our responsibility is engineering. I see Sri, as I read the staff report, approved the plan, and
did talk.
he's an engineer, unlike me, and has considered that, I assume,
We
so.
looked at 56th Street, if we put a curb cut on 56th Street, it limits the residents or the visitors to the Starbucks to only from westbound traffic. Because there's a median there and it wouldn't be safe to remove that median for people that want to go north on Lee Road. They would have to make a U-turn to get into an entrance if it was off of 56th Street. Putting the new road in off of Lee to service the Starbucks, the library, and the other lots that are gonna go in there and be developed made more sense than putting another cut on 56th Street. And so it wouldn't be like a monument street. You know what I'm saying? How we've got down where on Lawrence Village Parkway, there's monuments. And I think we kind of want to keep that look. And if you put a cut in just for Starbucks, the road that they're putting in serves all of the development that's going to go in that area. And it's going to be used by the library, by the Starbucks, and the other 3 lots that'll be developed in the future.
That's helpful to know.
And so keeping that turn off of Lee Road for safety reasons and for traffic flow is what the thought between the reuse authority, the developers, and the city was.
That's helpful to know, thank you.
Yeah, I certainly want to be mindful of the role of this board and, you know, the finding of facts with the way the case is presented. I certainly, and by all means, I think the addition of a Starbucks on the campus is great. I mean, it would be a wonderful addition. My hesitation is, again, the drive-through, just from the intention of the campus.
Any other questions for the petitioner or any concerns? Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll hear for remonstrators for or against the petition. We'll hear from the City of Lawrence.
The City of Lawrence is in support of this petition. We think it would be a great addition to the city. Like I said earlier, we had worked with the developers and the reuse authority and trying to figure out the best plan for this. We do have, you know, CVS has a drive-through, Culver's has a drive-through. There is drive-through, you know, got a drive-through at the Arby's. So it's not something that's gonna be specific to this development. There are other drive-throughs. I think a lot of people go and sit at Starbucks, so you still got your destination, but you're also serving the person who's on their way to work that wants to stop as they're driving through the fort to grab their Starbucks or on their way home. So it kind of fulfills all the purposes. I know everybody I've talked to is really excited about the thought of a Starbucks being here on the fort. The one up on Pilgrim Hike is always so busy, but maybe it'll take some pressure off of that store and get people in and out a little faster. The reuse authority did review it, and there's a copy of the letter from Heather in your packet, and we would recommend approval.
Does the petitioner have anything else to add? I don't. Does the board have any questions at this time? I'm in agreement with Tom, about, it's gone through the engineers, it's gone through the reuse authority, it's gone through all these people. And they have done the work that needs to be there, and I don't think that's the object of this board, is to get into any of that. So, with that being said, the board would be ready to vote on 22 LSV 05-9940 East 56th Street, a variance of development standard of the Lawrence Village at the Fort Preliminary Plan Covenants and Development Standards of Section 2.3.1, 3.3.7 regarding the public space along the required building line, and Section 2.11.6 regarding the drive-through lane on Lee Road. The board has unanimously granted your petition. Thank you.
It means the meeting's over.
This went too fast tonight. Lawrence Board of Zoning Appeals is adjourned at this time.